Hey, welcome back, podcast friends. This is going to be a very special episode that I'm so excited to show you because if you've been following us for very long, you know that we go by the good news, NEWSS. That's nutrition, exercise, water, sleep, and sunlight. So today we have Heidi, Sime, and Thaddeus Owen, and they are the co-founders of DreamWalkers, and that's with a Z. DreamWalkers, a circadian wellness company focused on optimizing light environments through blue light blocking glasses and healthy home lighting. Heidi, with a background in ecological architecture, design, and wellness education, brings a creative environmental approach to improving sleep and modern living. Thaddeus, known as the Y Guy, is a circadian health expert and biohacker with over 15 years of research in light, sleep, and human performance. Together, they teach practical strategies to improve sleep, hormones, mood, and mitochondrial health through circadian alignment and light-based lifestyle changes. Their work has been featured on TEDx, Alex Clark's Culture Apothecary, and across the ancestral health space. So welcome today, Heidi and Thaddeus, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
So happy to be here.
Thaddeus, do you want to tell us, or Heidi, how you guys got started in this?
Yeah, so one thing that I came to realize as I started my working career is that when we're children, especially us that are over 50, when we were children, we were outside all the time, exposed to natural sunlight. We were out in nature. And once we start our career, regardless of what that is, for me, I was working in the pharmaceutical industry as a research scientist for a decade. And I came from the outdoors to the indoors. So between school, university, and then my corporate job, I rarely got outdoors. And especially in the winter, I was indoors all the time because it would be dark when I drove to work and it would be dark when I drove home from work in the wintertime in a northern environment. And I, from the time of 18 all the way until I was almost 40 years old, I had massive anxiety and insomnia. And what I didn't realize when I was trying to solve that with pills and potions and all sorts of over-the-counter medications, sleep hypnosis tracks, whatever it was, what I didn't realize is that my light environment was one of the biggest factors affecting both my insomnia and my anxiety. And it took me over 5 years of reading research, learning about quantum mechanics and quantum biology to finally realize that the answer was really simple: get outside. And the more often we get outside, numerous studies show that the people that have more sunlight exposure die less than people with the least amount of sunlight exposure. So if you're exposed to more sunlight, you're probably going to live longer and be healthier. These studies have been done over numerous decades, a number of times by different universities, and they always show that same result. What I was doing working in the pharmaceutical industry is I thought I was helping people. So I got out of college, I studied sustainability and chemical engineering, and I wanted to do something to give back to humanity. And I thought, hey, I should work in biotech and pharmaceuticals. So I found a job in the pharmaceutical industry as a research scientist. And one year I was standing at the top of a 10,000 gallon batch of drug product for kids, fully suited up in a bunny suit with a respirator. And there's a big skull and crossbones on the outside of a 55-gallon drum that I'm dumping in to the children's product that says caution cancer. And I was just thinking to myself, what am I doing here pouring carcinogenic chemicals while I'm protecting myself with a respirator and gloves and a bunny suit, pouring it into a children's product where they're going to ingest that.
Yep.
And so I went out and got my master's degree in holistic nutrition. I left the pharmaceutical industry. I started a job where I keep toxic chemicals out of furniture products, and I started solving my own anxiety and insomnia, first with changing my light environment. So I put on a pair of blue light blocking glasses for the first time ever when I learned about these things back in 2009, and suddenly my sleep got phenomenally better. Then I started changing the light environment in my home and getting outside more often during the day and in the morning, which is very critical. And I completely cured my insomnia. And because of that, cured my anxiety. So I could leave the pharmaceutical industry and start giving presentations to people, which I could never do before. And at the same time, met my beautiful wife, who we've been together now almost 10 years. And we together started learning more and more about light health and experimenting on ourselves.
Yeah. Funny side note, you guys, when we first met, Thaddeus would come out to my car. So we live in the northern area of Wisconsin or western Wisconsin, but in the north. And he would scrape my windshield in the winter, and he would be wearing no shirt.
Oh.
I don't talk about this a lot on podcasts.
Yeah.
I was like, and this is like when we first started dating. I'm like, what's happening right now? It was so cute, but I was just like, oh, okay, he's into cold exposure, right? And honestly, before we even went on our official first date, he invited me to go cold plunging with a group of Russian crazy people, Cedar Lake in Minneapolis in late January. And
So it's about 0 degrees.
yeah, it was.
We had to cut a hole in a frozen lake. And
You're
that was one of our
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
He talks about that in his book. And then we're on the cover together, him helping me into the cold plunging. But like when we first started dating, I was just like, I don't understand what's happening. And the other thing he sent me was a pair of blue light blocking glasses. And I had not. I've
her
always
first gift.
Yeah, the first thing he ever bought me. And I've always been a beach baby. I've always been outside. Like you said, I grew up outside in nature. And I never went into the corporate world. I've never been an inside person, really. And I think that has a lot to do with, I'm menopausal right now, or perimenopausal. And a lot of women that I know, a lot of friends of mine have these crazy symptoms of menopause. And I'm like, I just don't have any. I've always been outside. I've always gravitated towards sunlight and grounding in the beach, and just like intuitively, right? I've known that all my babies I've had outside, given birth outside, but they're always outside with me. I'm like, keep up with me. We're going to the beach. We're going to go to the park and blah, blah. But I think I just had been blessed with really good health. And then I hear him teach about this stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this stuff,
Yeah.
but I didn't know about the blue light blocking glasses. So that part, he really taught me a lot. And you guys, I haven't missed since that day. It was been 8 years. It's eight. Yeah, I think a little over 8 years. I've not missed one night of wearing blue light blocking glasses after sunset.
Yeah. So when you say the blue light blocking, do you mean those red ones that you wear? Is that
There's
at night?
yeah, there's 4 types of blue light blocking glasses. There's ones that have clear lenses that say they block blue light. They're Amazon and the eye doctor.
Yeah.
They block some, but really not much, and not a biological enough quantity to be helpful. So they're doing a little bit. Then they have yellow lenses of blue light blocking glasses that block about 50 to 70% of blue light. They're really good for the daytime when you're on a device and you don't have natural light. We are outdoors right now when we're podcasting. So if it's not winter, we like to be outdoors in nature's light. And when we're staring into a screen, or when we're indoors with no natural light, you wear the yellow glasses during the day to protect your eyes from free radical damage from the blue light from screens. We've invented these LEDs, and really they invented the blue light LED diode in around 2005.
We didn't invent them.
Humanity invented this. Now
Somebody who wasn't biologically thinking straight.
Philips now owns the patent on every piece of the LED platform. So they bought up every LED light company in the world that had anything to do with LED lights. And so now Philips can say, we own the patent on LED light, and they charge any company that sells an LED light of any kind a fee to sell that LED light, because Philips own the whole technology itself after they bought up all these small companies. But what happened with that blue light, with a blue light LED, we could now make white light, the type of light you put in your living room overhead, your offices now, the grocery stores, they're all using these white LED lights. And that was made possible because of the blue driver. And it's the blue driver of light, the blue wavelength of light, the visible light spectrum of blue, that both causes free radicals to form in our eyes during the day and causes melatonin, our sleep hormone that rejuvenates and repairs us while we sleep, to be destroyed at night. So during the day, this free radical damage to your eye indoors can build up, whereas blue light outdoors is mitigated by the sunlight, because sunlight is mostly red and infrared light that heal the damage from the blue light. So it's a balanced spectrum in nature. which you would expect. But indoors, we invented these lights that were able to make us see things really well, to do tasks, but not invented to help our biology. So the yellow blue blockers during the day, they block that blue, not all the blue, but enough blue to stop some of that free radical damage to the eye when you're on a device. And at night, you want to block 100% of blue light after sunset. And that's because blue light after dark was never biologically allowable for all of human history. We had firelight, we had sunlight, and we had moonlight, and none of those things had enough blue light to trigger your melanopsin receptor in your eye to shut down melatonin and to stop your sleep, your healing, and your repair at night. So the orange lenses block 100% of the blue light that comes into your eye at night to allow your body to still experience light and to be awake, but to still release that critical melatonin after sunset. Then the red lenses are a darker version of the orange blue light blocking glasses. They're also for nighttime. They block all of the blue light and green light. We don't normally recommend people wear the red tinted glasses because when you block blue and green light, it's hard to see anything. And I have fallen down stairs at least twice and almost killed myself wearing the red lens glasses.
When we first met, I was like, let me get this straight. You're going to wear these red glasses and you're going to, I have a really old house built in 1918. And I'm like, you're going to plummet to your death down the stairs, but you're going to wear the glasses. Like,
He'll save his eyes.
So the red lenses, some people sell those. They do block more light, but to us, people tend to buy those glasses and stop wearing them at night because they can't see enough. So the orange lenses are plenty to block all the blue light, which is what you need. And so when you look at the spectrum of lenses, typically we recommend, if you're working an office job or on a device all the time, that you have a yellow pair of blue light blocking glasses to protect your eyes. And everybody, because none of us can really get away from this blue light at night, should have a pair of orange lenses. And everyone from the American Medical Association to the National Institute of Health to the World Health Organization, mainstream medicine has said that artificial light exposure at night is associated with diabetes, cancer, heart disease, obesity, and insomnia.
Wow.
So really critical that we know about this source of light that's all around us, and most of us just never really consider that it could be harming our health, let alone affecting our biology.
And now that they're trying to make everything goes to LED now, they're telling everybody LED is the way to go, and that's the worst light we could be using right now, right?
So LED light is not great for a few reasons. It has a lot of blue light, and you can use a spectrometer, a scientific instrument, to measure the wavelengths of light. And nearly every LED that we're replacing our lighting fixtures with, because they quote unquote save energy, has tons of this blue light that's biologically active and at night harms our biology. Then the LED lights that are on the market tend to be inexpensive and they tend to flicker. We don't see it visually with our eyes, this flicker, but our brain picks up that flicker and it causes stress, which is why a lot of people that work at office jobs have migraine headaches when they get to work, or eye strain, or all these other things, because your brain is picking up this source of stress from the flickering light that your eye can't see. Then the LED lights can also cause some dirty electricity in your home, which is a non-native or a man-made electromagnetic frequency that affects our health. And so there are better LED lights that are out there, but what we used through all of human history was sunlight and candlelight. And those, if you can use those things, are far more designed into our biology and made to work with our biology than anything else you could possibly use.
The most flicker that the human eye should see is from a candle, right? Like these LED lights, you guys, they're flickering so fast. Your brain, is it your pineal that can detect it?
Your brain can detect it.
Your brain, yeah, but your eyes can't. And so it's causing so much stress in your brain. And then people, you come home from a day of work after looking at the computer all day and you're just like, why does my head hurt? Why do I have migraine? And it's like that between the light, the flicker, and actually staring 3 feet in front of you is really bad for your vision. We should be looking out. So a lot of times we like to do the 20-20-20 rule. So every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds and then do some eye movements. I've been really studying preserving your eyesight because as we're aging, that's the first thing that starts to feel like getting deteriorated. And then you go to the eye doctor and it's just downhill from there. We were talking about that before we started recording. And it's the only medical arm that they don't help you like heal, right? So you go and you get a prescription and then it gets worse and worse. And you wouldn't go to the doctor and be like, oh, I broke my arm. And they'll be like, oh, you have to wear a sling for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
they only do that with medications.
Yeah, right. Medications. But why do we accept that with eye doctors? You know what I mean? And it's so accepted. And we're like, wait a minute, you can do all these other things, and just getting outside and protecting your health and your light environment can help all these things.
Yeah.
A crazy thing, 3 years ago, we have the can lights, trying to update and make things a little brighter, and we went and replaced them all.
Good.
With the LED.
Well, no, yeah, it was the stupidest thing. We didn't know that anything.
Everybody, common mistake everybody makes.
Yes.
But we have put it on the most brownish color.
But we don't turn them on at night, so we only have lamps.
Yeah.
But one thing that we do have is the dimmer switch. And if that dimmer hits a certain way, they do start like
flickering.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell what's going on. This can't be right. Yeah. So now we're like, okay, we got to slowly. But should I wear? So I got these glasses when we saw you guys at Meat Stock, and then I've got my readers on.
Yeah.
And now I know you guys have readers that are like this.
Yep.
But when I'm just walking around my house daytime, and if we have those overhead lights on, should I still have these these glasses, or during the day it's okay?
I would say typically not during the day if you're walking around your house, if you're doing things at the home, if you have good natural light coming in. So I still have a corporate job, and when I go back to corporate headquarters, if I'm just out in the open office talking or working, it's generally great because we have lots of natural light. But when I go to a meeting room, even if I'm not on my device, there's no windows. And so if you're in a place with very low or no natural light, let's say you work in a grocery store, you work at Whole Foods, you work in an auto shop or whatever it is, and it's all artificial light, that's where I would wear the glasses, or you're on a device all day. But walking around your home during the day, you need some blue light to help your biology. What it does is it increases cortisol, which is the stress hormone, but it keeps us awake and alert during the day and not sleepy. So we want some of that blue light. It's appropriate during the day, just not in the quantities we usually get from your phone, your laptop, the overhead LEDs, all of that, without the red and infrared to help mitigate some of the free radical damage.
Also, you guys, we made a resource on our website so people can see. I'm a very visual person. I'm creative. Like I like to hear things and learn, but I also like to see them. So I made a blue light blocking glasses guide on our website. You can go to DreamWalkers with a Z.ai, and it's right on our homepage. It's free. You have to sign up. You have to give us your email or anything. It's just a resource we want people to have. And you can see in the spectrometer readings that big spike of blue light. And then we show it like next to natural sunlight. And it's so alien. We say like that in the scientific terminology, we call it like an alien spectrum, as the same as Thaddeus was talking about with the fluorescent lights. When he's at corporate headquarters, he's under all the fluorescent lights, right? I mean,
if they haven't swapped them out with LEDs.
Yeah. And you should see it. In a spectrometer, you should see the fluorescent, how alien that spectrum is. It's supposed to be a full spectrum of sunlight, like all the colors, and the fluorescent is so bizarre. It's kind of weird. And the LED is like a huge spike of blue light. So the yellow glasses chunk that big spike down by half. So you, like you said, you can stay alert and awake. And then the orange glasses at night, they drop that entire blue spike down to nothing, so that you build melatonin and you don't build cortisol anymore.
Right.
That's,
What do you think about Edison bulbs?
Oh, we love them.
So Edison bulbs are like the old school incandescent bulbs, right? Thomas Edison back in the late 1800s invented that bulb that gets hot. So you'll notice LEDs don't get hot. The Edison bulbs are incandescent, they get hot. Now there's a couple of versions of them that one is better than the other. When you go to buy an incandescent bulb, should you still be able to find them, because some people are saying they're really hard to find these days, you want one that either has a clear glass around it or like an amber, slightly amber coated, but not the frosted glass.
Okay.
The frosted white glass incandescents, they block a little bit more of the spectrum of light that our bodies are used to receiving from nature. So you really want to get Edison or incandescent during the day with those clear or slightly amber tone glass cases around them. They can be used at night, but even the Edison incandescent bulbs at night can still disrupt up to 50% of your nighttime melatonin. So at night, if you use incandescent bulbs, we would always recommend, and we ourselves have some incandescents in our kitchen. We still wear blue light blocking glasses, even with the incandescents at night. But during the day, we each have an incandescent by our desk because we get some infrared and red light from that bulb that our laptops and devices are not giving us.
Oh.
So that helps mitigate some of the light spectrum deficiency, the malillumination that we're exposed to when we're at our desks.
It's actually a supplement. We supplement with the light because of the red and infrared that the Edison bulb is giving off. And as far as aesthetics go, a lot of people are like, I would much prefer that to that clinical LED white light.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're the same way.
Yeah. And we want to see our food. We live in the north, and let's face it, the winter gets pretty rough, right? 4 o'clock, we're and like putting on a red light bulb, like we're biohackers. So like our house is glowing red at night, but your food looks great. And I always tell people too, like, don't just all of a sudden go from lights to red because it's healthier or whatever. Your family will probably freak out. Like, it's small steps. And the Edison bulb is a great next step to eliminate the LED bulb, go down to the Edison, know how to use it, know when to use it, know where to use it. And then you can move into a circadian friendly amber bulb and then red in certain places. And then you just take small steps, right? Increment.
So what Heidi is saying is, when most people learn about this light thing, and a lot of people that are really advanced in it, they will eliminate blue light bulbs from their home at night, and red light bulbs have no blue light. It's just one spectrum of red light, and they're the least disruptive to your melatonin. So people will switch to those.
Because they want the best, right? The healthiest thing. Yeah.
And then there's also amber bulbs, which look like a very soft, warm light with no blue light. It has a little bit of yellow and orange and green and no blue. So when people see which light bulb should I get at night, if I really want to have the most circadian friendly, sleep friendly home, and they're like, well, it's definitely red light, and they put them everywhere, and their partner freaks out. So like, what's happening to our house? And you can't see colors of food. You can't see if you cut yourself in the kitchen.
It's actually dangerous.
So keep
And neighbors
incandescents.
from the outside may wonder what's going on also.
Yeah, that's what our neighborhood probably is.
Actually, since we've been doing this for 8 years, we have a lot of red bulbs in our house, but in the kitchen, it's incandescent, which was what we recommend, or halogen. At least 3 of our neighbors now have red lights in their house.
Really?
Outside, yeah.
So I'm like, hey, they're getting the message.
And one has a newborn. We're like, yay, you guys are doing really good.
Did you guys talk to them, or you just noticed they have them?
They just,
They must have found out on their own, either by watching us, because we're easy to find locally on Facebook. A lot of people see us locally, or they've been listening to, who knows, Andrew Huberman or Dave Asprey or somebody big, and they heard it from them as well.
They're like, oh, they're doing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't feel as weird because someone else in the neighborhood also has red lights. So.
Together. But our kids are like,
red light district.
Yeah. And it's like our kids, after we started kind of switching over, there's less and less friends that come over with the teenagers. So beware of that. We're the weird parents. But you know what? It's kind of funny. If you have kids that are teenagers, like I wasn't even conscious of this, but we started using the red light in the living room, and the teenagers, you guys, just start getting tired earlier. It's so funny. Nice. And they just go to bed earlier because their melatonin started kicking in, right? So little hack for teenagers.
Yeah.
Go through that just for all the audience. The whole circadian rhythm, what the lights are, why you need it in the morning, why you need it at night, what's going on in the brain and in the body during those times.
Our biology is built off of a diurnal system. And it sounds fancy, but all that means is you can be nocturnal or diurnal. So people say, I'm a night owl. But honestly, there's nocturnal biology, and it's in owls and rats and things that come out at night, and they're intended to be awake and alert during the night. Our biology is tuned to natural sunlight and the light and dark cycles of the earth, and that's called circadian rhythm. And it's also called a diurnal rhythm. So awake and alert during the day, and asleep and repairing and rejuvenating at night. During the day, the sunlight provides an electric field to the earth that keeps our cells and our body charged up and ready to do whatever we need to during the day. That sunlight signal, especially in the morning time around dawn. Now, the sun rises at a different time all year round, depending on where you live. So helpful to look up on your phone or your laptop, when is sunrise? Within an hour of sunrise, being outdoors significantly increases testosterone for men and significantly increases estrogen for women. So it's setting your hormones for the day within an hour of dawn. After that hour from dawn, the ultraviolet light comes out, which starts to shut down some of those hormones like testosterone and estrogen. So people that are night owls, they wake up, they get outside at noon, they don't get the hormone splurge that you get at dawn, which means some of these people are saying like, why do my adrenals not work? Why do I have thyroid issues? How come I'm infertile? Often because all you're doing is signaling the body at night with blue light to keep your hormones on all the time, and then outdoors after sunrise, too long after sunrise, to shut it down at the wrong time. So you have this circadian mismatch. So during the day, not only is the warm amber, red, and infrared light in the morning healing your body, people pay lots of money for red light therapy. You can get it for free outdoors at dawn with no ultraviolet. Then the ultraviolet comes out during the day. We'd normally be outside during the day. That ultraviolet increases nitric oxide in your body, which lowers blood pressure. It has all these other benefits like creating vitamin D in our skin. The vitamin D from the sun is always better than vitamin D from a pill. Yep. And it really helps your body make its own vitamin D. You can store up to 50 to 80,000 international units of vitamin D in one sun session. Each capsule of vitamin D, when you get it in a bottle, is 400 IUs. You'd have to take the whole bottle, which is usually toxic and not recommended.
Don't do that.
To equal one 20-minute session of sunlight from the ultraviolet and sunlight. So we're building immunity. We're building our body's capacity to fight and to build itself up from anything that's going on, any stressors. There's lots of stressors in modern society. Electromagnetic frequencies, microwaves, pollution in the air, pollution in the water. Who knows what they're putting in some of our foods nowadays. So you want to be resilient, right? Charge yourselves up with the sun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when we saw you at Meatstock, you talked about sunglasses and the history of sunglasses.
You want to tell that story, Heidi?
I had never heard it before. So I thought it was interesting.
So the history of sunglasses, you guys, Inuit Eskimos would wear a little piece of bone because it would be so bright, and they cut just a little slit in it. That's actually the first sunglasses that we know about. I think there's some other ancient Chinese peoples that did the same thing in disparate places, which is interesting. But back in the 1930s, when movie stars were starting to get popular, they would be on set. And we all know what happens when movie stars are inside. They're under these really bright lights. They were probably under halogen lights at the time.
At that time. Now it's all LED, and it's same with when you're speaking on stage. Just super bright lights right in your face to light you up.
So the movie stars would be like, oh, my eyes. So somebody along the way invented a pair of sunglasses, and they called them sunglasses, right? But they're actually worn by movie stars inside on the sets from the glaring lights that were blaring in their eyes. So Sam Foster, back in the 1930s in Atlantic City, was like, ooh, people want to look like movie stars. I can make $1 million from this, right? Or probably more. And he invented a mass-produced sunglasses and started selling them. And people were like, ooh, I'm cool. And they started wearing them outside, which was never the intent, maybe for Sam, but not for what they were trying to mimic with the movie stars. So they are automatically already got it wrong. They started covering up their eyes from the sun. And never before that in human history have we worn sunglasses. And it's such an interesting thing, you guys. When Thaddeus was on the Alex Clark podcast, Culture Apothecary, the amount of people that get triggered by talking shit about, I don't know if I can swear on here, but shit about their sunglasses was alarming. But it actually creates a circadian mismatch. And so when you go outside, your skin, it's all full of receptors, light receptors. We're light beings. Our eyes are full of all these receptors. And what we're doing is it's information. So it's photonic, right? So you're reading the information from the sun, and now you're covering them up with sunglasses. You're telling your eyes and your brain something different than what your skin is actually in real time. And it could actually make you more sunburnt, more susceptible to getting sunburnt, because your eyes are telling your brain you don't need to make melanin. Is that the
eyes have receptors called neuropsin receptors that read the amount of UV in sunlight.
Yeah.
But all sunglasses block all the UV. So when the UV receptor in your eye says there's no UV, but you're outdoors on the beach, your skin won't make melanin to protect itself. So we get sunburned more easily.
Yeah.
And so we're always like, you guys, like, you can wear your sunglasses, like they're for fashion, they're cool, like whatever, but you're giving your body a circadian mismatch, and maybe just wear them less to start off with. And then we don't wear sunglasses at all.
Except when we're on podcasts and indoors at night.
Yeah, I mean,
the opposite of everyone else.
The blue light blocking glasses. And Thaddeus did a TEDx talk about this, and the very first thing he says on stage is, "Are we wearing our sunglasses all wrong?" And it's like, we are. And like everything, not everything, but so many things in this 3D reality, it's like it's the opposite. It's the rule of opposites, right?
So you do wear your sunglasses at night.
We do.
We played the Corey Hart song for
That's
for my TED talk. Yeah.
Did you? That's awesome.
He had it right all along.
Yeah. And people, they get really triggered and they're like, it's too bright for my eyes. I hear a lot of that, especially with like my parents' generation, baby boomers. They're like, I can't see it. And so, yeah, because you've been wearing sunglasses your whole life, right? And so what we really recommend is to get outside, like what Thaddeus was saying, with that morning sunlight, because there is no UV, and start really slow and just start working your way through the morning, then put them on. And then do a little bit longer, then put them on, right? You can just graduate out of them if you want to. That's something you want to do. But yeah, and I think like when people hear, oh, they were never meant, and they're actually considered a medical device by the FDA.
If you import sunglasses into our country, they're a class 3 medical device, and you have to have a license. So it's interesting.
Oh my gosh.
You can get a lot more money that way.
Yeah.
Government needs its money.
It's so crazy how we've done so many things to block all of sunlight out of our eyes, sunlight off our skin, going and telling everybody, don't be out in the sun. You're going to get skin cancer, and put all these toxic sunscreens all over us. I love that people are finally starting to wake up. They're realizing how much we've been lied to, and it's just people trying to make money off of us and putting sunscreen on. I have done podcasts on that, how crazy putting sunscreen on your body is. The sun, just like you, that's what made me think of it, because just like you said, the sun in your eyes actually helps stimulate the melanin in your skin to help protect you, get sun.
Yeah.
Same thing with the sunlight directly on your skin. That also actually causes a reaction inside your skin that protects itself against the sun so you don't burn. But now, again, just like you said, now that everybody's lathering up with all the sunscreen all the time, now they do find out that they're burning a lot easier now than they used to. And so now it's like all the things in the pharmaceutical companies, they just, without getting too crazy about it, but if people just realize that the closer you can come back to natural, what did people do 1,000 years ago? You're going to be a lot more healthy than trying to figure out what to do with all this man-made stuff that they are making things that they do not know anything about. Medication is the same way. Our bodies are so magnificent, and they make something that just fixes one tiny thing and it screws everything else up. Is just be natural as much as possible.
Yep. Run around naked, Steve.
Yeah. Just as soon as we get off here.
I hear Thaddeus when he's on stage a lot, and he's always saying clothing over chemicals.
Yeah, because at some point you need to cover up from the sun. If you're under direct sunlight for a really long time, you don't want to get burned. You should practice safe sun exposure. So to us, that means no sunglasses, so you don't get burned in the first place. And then if you still have to be outdoors for whatever reason, you're working in your yard all day long, put on a long sleeve shirt and a hat. It's way better for you than putting a bunch of chemicals that are going to absorb into your skin.
Without a doubt.
And you look back, even Western, hundreds of years, they wore hats. Everybody wore hats.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought it was just for their hair and
that too. They didn't have shampoo as much as we do now.
Right.
Or for the lack of.
True.
I said so many things at Meat Stock that just, both of you, just opened our eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So before we get to that, there's beeswax candles. So I had heard somebody talk about beeswax candles. Our regular candles are bad, of course, but they're expensive and they burn very quickly, or at least the ones I did.
Yeah.
That as well.
Beeswax candles, Thaddeus can explain more of the ionic property of it, but it's like magical land, right? When you look at a fire and you guys are sitting around a fire, there is some type of ionic exchange that's happening, right? With that firelight. It's red light, it's infrared light. These are all healing rays. So there's something that, because the bees, and there's that hexagonal in the hive, right? That geometry, right. There's a sacred, I don't want to get too woo-woo, but there's a sacred geometry to all of nature, right? Yep. And when the bees are making the wax, you guys, there's something that they're doing that we can't mimic as a human, right? And so when you're burning that candle, and this is what I was taught by, I think Hilda, I think I learned this from Hilda, there's some exchange of energetic property of an ionic, and it's almost like an energetic protection that happens. And I don't know how to explain it any further than that, but it's unfortunate that they do burn faster, but just anything, if it's made from nature, yes, right? Man, forget the soy, forget like all the other kind of candles. I've read Forever Dog, and it's actually more harmful for our animals than it even is for us. And it's really harmful for us. Right. So if you have animals in your house, you don't want to be burning any type of candles that have fragrance in them, lead wicks, or any of the soy waxes. Obviously, getting back to nature and getting back to the basics. And like we were talking about before, what would your homesteader grandma 100 years ago, what would she be burning? That's probably the healthiest thing you can do. So when you start looking at your environment, you guys, this is all about light and all the things that are in, I like to call it your fishbowl. And you're the little fish in the fishbowl, and you're swimming around, and you've got to take into consideration your air quality, your water, your light environment. And there's a lot of times we miss some of those things that seem so obvious. It's like the fish doesn't know he's in water, right?
To us, that's like our light. It becomes invisible.
Yeah. So we try to feed the fish really healthy food, but if you're in a toxic fishbowl, it's really hard to get that fish in a healthy state. So beeswax candles are much more beneficial in every way. And I think the chemicals that they put into, if you go to Target and look at, they don't have to tell you even. I just actually returned a candle. It was a beeswax candle, and it said it had natural fragrance. It's actually interesting. Fragrance oil. And I went and I looked it up, and it said natural beeswax, and it said lead-free wick. And I was like, yay. And it was in this really pretty, it looked like a beehive glass jar. And I'm like, because I'm really picky about candles. And I went and looked up the natural fragrance oil, and it's not an essential oil. And if it's not an essential oil, it's something that is isolated, and it's not working in synergy. Is a good word for what? It's not working in synergy with all the other things that it's supposed to in nature. They're pulling something out. I mean, like pharmaceuticals, Steve. I mean,
yeah. Exactly. And even food, when it says natural flavor, people think, oh, that's natural flavors. No, that's just a way to hide chemicals. That does not mean anything healthy whatsoever.
Exactly.
Just like feeding fish flakes. They don't eat fish flakes in nature.
Yeah, I know. And all the pet food.
Do you have anything more to add with the candle part?
Nothing other than firelight is very primal, and there's just some connection to firelight that our bodies know is healthy after dark. And
just staring at a campfire, you can tell that. Just so mesmerizing and relaxing.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, now I want to talk about breast milk, because I really thought that was interesting. It's something that I had never thought about, because actually when they first started selling melatonin over the counter, first started selling it, period, I had read an article at that time saying that melatonin obviously is produced from the pineal gland, but it's released in the brain to stay in the brain. It doesn't even cross the blood-brain barrier.
Really?
That's not true. No, evidently it's not true, because everything that comes out after that said that's not true. Which goes back to being careful what you read. Who's making money out of this thing or whatever? Yeah. But so, I want to hear what your whole thing is on babies sleeping and waking and everything.
Yeah.
Let's say the first thing that people should know is melatonin is the master conductor of 10 other hormones. So ghrelin, leptin, testosterone, estrogen, there's all these hormones in the body that are circadian hormones. They're based on the light and dark cycles. And when we get melatonin wrong by exposing ourselves to artificial light at night and not getting out in the sunlight during the day, it doesn't conduct all those other hormones appropriately. We get hungry and craving for carbs and sugars because of the exposure to light at night. So you're under artificial lights blasting you with all this blue light at 8 o'clock at night, and it's dark, and you're in the gym running for your life on the treadmill trying to get healthy. it's making you crave sugar to eat more food. So the exact wrong thing. So number one, melatonin is so important to get right by getting your light environment. And for babies, they are dependent on mom to get their nutrition, their hormones, all of these things. And Heidi will describe why having melatonin present in yourself, if you're breastfeeding, is so important for your baby to get that melatonin as well. And when you destroy a melatonin in your body, it's not going to go into your baby's body if you're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And if you're using infant formula, you're not getting any of the good hormones or any of the other wonderful things.
100%, Steve. It's called night milk, you guys. And night milk is so important for mom and baby to get to sleep. So a lot of times I see and I hear women that are holding cell phones right next to the baby's head. This is layered, right? There's not just one thing that's wrong with this. You're holding the phone next to your baby's head. You're actually microwaving baby with EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. I don't know if you guys have talked with your audience.
Nope.
No. Okay.
I don't think we have.
Okay. That's another Thaddeus thing. He's an expert in the EMF situation, but let me just go through the milk and then we can address that. So your phone is like a little mini cell tower. And then you have a blaring, we already covered the blue light part. So you're getting this huge spike of blue light. And now you're putting that in your eyes, in your face, and like at the back of the baby's head, right? Like you're nursing. And the baby's pineal gland is actually registering that light too. This is a problem, okay? You might have lights on, you might have like other blinky lights in the nursery, and all of these things are adding, and they're, like we said, it's photonic, and these are photonic information cells that are giving your body another circadian mismatch. So we are like, we're super complex, but we're very simple. Light and dark. That's what we should see. We have light during the day and like we're diurnal, and we dark at night. So when we've got these devices and nobody thought this through, right? Nobody tells people, they just tell you, hey, what family plan should you be on? That's the language around cell phones, safety, which there is no safety when it comes to cell phones. But you are now putting that light information in your body, and it's going into your breast milk, which has all this beautiful melatonin rich milk called night milk. And now baby is not going to sleep as well. So it's really a good idea if you are a breastfeeding mom to be paying attention to this stuff. And we saw some crazy backlash, you guys, from the Alex Clark videos, the reels that, I'll just say it. There was a lot of women on, especially on Instagram. I think they get a little bit crazier on Instagram than on YouTube. But some of the women's comments that like alarmed me were, if I don't have they were like, Heidi, if I don't have my phone while I'm breastfeeding my baby, I will drop my baby. And I'm like,
I'm not even sure where those comments come from.
This was
good thing God created us with cell phones in our hands, huh?
Exactly.
I'm like, are you kidding? And this was over and over again. And I'm like, oh my God. And then one like more baby boomer type lady was like, my kids grew up just fine. And we're like, you didn't have a cell phone in your bizarre, like the comments. But if you think about it and you're a reasoning person and you can have some critical thinking and you understand what that light is doing to you and then to your milk, because like what Steve was saying before, you guys, breast milk has melatonin. Now, if you introduce formula to your baby, you're not going to get breast milk, or you're not going to get melatonin in your breast milk at all. You're going to get a lot of glyphosate. You're going to get a lot of like really crazy stuff. If you can't breastfeed and you have reasons, get donor milk, get donor breast milk. And they should actually be delineating whether that milk is nighttime milk or daytime milk as well. If you're getting donor milk, take it another step further. But the breast milk situation, you guys, is like, nobody's talking about this. It's very much like, we don't know, because we're just given these things and we're just like, oh, the government gives them to the FDA to approve and they're somewhat safe, but they're actually not.
No.
And it's really too bad. And then your baby could be colicky. Actually, there could be like developmental issues, behavioral issues, and we're already seeing that. Like, we don't want to keep adding to that. And since that episode aired, we have email after email that come in day after day, and it says, ever since I heard you say those words, it's just like that one sentence, If you're a breastfeeding mom and you're staring at a phone, you are depleting your melatonin, your breast milk. These women are like, my baby is now sleeping through the night.
Think about like, what do people want? They want their baby to grow up developmentally well, to be well fed, and to sleep so we can all get more sleep.
Yes.
We all want more
And
sleep.
so when you expose yourself to that blue light at night, which most people have never heard of, you're putting cortisol directly into your own body. And people say it's never going to make it to the breast milk. It takes too long. No, it can take milliseconds to then flow to the breast milk and give the baby a little shot of cortisol. And you're wondering why you keep waking up with the baby all the time. So really important thing if you want your baby to sleep is to get them the beautiful like breast milk that's made for nighttime to help them build their own circadian rhythm and to help them sleep more at night.
And just for our audience, just break all this down just real quick.
Yeah.
Just realize what happens is at night, right before you wake up, your body actually starts secreting cortisol, your stress hormone. That's what helps get you up and out of bed. So cortisol and melatonin are exact opposites. As melatonin is coming down in the morning, your cortisol is coming up. Then you go through the day like we're doing with the cortisol. But at night, as soon as it starts getting dark, now all of a sudden your cortisol is going down and your melatonin is coming up.
Yep.
And that's perfect. And that's what you want. That's what you want in your breast milk for your child. That's what you want for you. Yep. But if you get up, just like they said, if you get up in the middle of the night, and especially if you get up in the middle of the night and you start turning lights on, now you're affecting the melatonin that your own baby is producing, and you're also affecting yours. So now they're turning off the melatonin at night and stimulating the cortisol because now your body thinks you're up. So now your baby isn't sleeping as well. They're waking up at night. Yep. And people don't even realize this has a lot to do with, besides the type of food you eat, staying away from carbohydrates again, because that screws up your baby also. But seriously, but if you think about the light, try to keep it once the sun is down, once God says it's time to be dark, then that's when you should be dark. And same with your baby. And in the morning, that's going to be so much better. It's going to set your whole circadian rhythm up. So you will be ready to get up better in the morning, and your baby will get up, but you'll be ready to go back down at night. That's why exercise in the morning is so good too. And that morning light, and there's so many natural things that we've gotten so far away from it. Now we're wondering why everybody's on antidepressants and everything else. These psych meds, crazy.
One nuance too, when you have a newborn, you don't really want to wake newborns up. I get this question all the time. People are like, should I wake up my infants and take them outside with me in the morning? And I'm like, oh my God, no, don't wake up a sleeping. Once their circadian rhythm starts, you get to train. This is something else I said on Alex's podcast, you guys, is you get to train your child's circadian rhythm, which usually comes in between around month 3. So at 3 months old, you can start going into the bedroom and raising the curtains and start getting them into sync with you at dawn, as the day breaks, right? So you get to train your child's circadian rhythm. But if you are using tech and lighting, you're going to have that system, that technology train your child. So once you put it in that perspective of like, oh, I would rather train my child with circadian rhythm and natural sunlight and in nature rather than a phone, a tech, like turning on bright lights. So just really understanding nuances to that. But I would always say to new moms, don't wake up a sleeping baby. Use your intuition. That's a lot of times, you guys, I answer back people's specific questions, and I say, what do you think is right for you? Because every family's different, everybody's different, every circumstance is different. And say the child was up half the night, then no, you don't wake it up. And maybe if he has been sleeping for many days in a row, maybe it's time to now start, right? So use your intuition also, and I think we skip that a lot.
And also, what are the good night lights? Because I know that's what mother's going to say. What do you want me to do? Stumble through the house and put my baby in the dark? But there are good night lights too that aren't all this blue light, right? Is there anything that?
There's a lot of things you can do in our home, on our nightstand, which you can put in a nursery too. We've got like a portable light. It's like a portable lamp, and there's no blue light. It has amber light. You can see everything perfectly. We also, throughout our hallways and our kitchen and our bathroom, we have plug-in night lights, and we have some portable, like cord-free night lights with no blue light. They're motion sensing, so they're off until somebody comes near. Perfect. They turn on just like a normal night light would. It's just that they don't have any blue light. And we always recommend some people where they don't want to go and buy anything that's LED potentially. So you can buy salt rock lamps, Himalayan salt rock lamps with incandescent bulbs, and keep those on low in the baby's room. And those can provide an appropriate, biologically appropriate light you can turn on at night. One thing that I did for my boys that I really tried to help people see is we didn't use any lights at night in their bedroom. So there might have been a motion sensing nightlight for when we came in, and a lamp that we would turn on that was circadian appropriate. But I didn't keep a light on 24/7 when they were sleeping, and they're not afraid of the dark. And so many kids and adults are afraid of the dark to this day, whether they're watching scary movies or they grew up always as a baby with a light on in their room. Mm-hmm. And so I just think in nature, there would have been no light on at night. Fire is too expensive to burn all night for almost anybody. Yeah. So having darkness while your baby sleeps, but an appropriate light to turn on when you need to, I think is key, and it helps kids not be afraid of the dark as they get older.
Yep, that's great. And that's what we do. We've got one of those salt bulbs, and then our lamps in our bedroom have the Edison bulbs.
Perfect.
So,
yeah, and one of them is actually, I heard somebody talk about it, and it's like a salt light bulb.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Oh, yeah.
No,
so, yeah, I was talking big salt rock
dim
lamps, but you can buy a bulb itself that's coated.
Yeah, we have both.
Yeah. And it screws into the same light fixture. Yeah.
But it's really super dim. Like,
yes.
Do we really need this?
It doesn't provide a lot of light.
Dark outside, we probably would.
True. That's true.
So I think for most people, you want blue light free, dim lighting at night. Now, with kids, maybe somebody pees the bed or whatever it is. So you have to have an appropriate overhead light to clean messes up when you need to. So we're not saying don't be safe. You never need it. But whenever possible, dim lighting with no blue light is what you want at night for everybody.
Yeah. That sounds great. Is there anything that we haven't touched on? Anything that like is a hot topic you guys usually talk about with somebody that we haven't touched on? Or I know there's all kinds of topics, but
we didn't kind of go back to the EMF thing. And that
that's right.
I think that's actually a really good thing, since we're talking about safe homes and healthy homes and babies and stuff. Your Wi-Fi router at night, you guys, we should really be turning that off at night. We don't even have Wi-Fi in our house. We're hard connected. We're like old school. Oh, wow. But Thaddeus could explain to your audience, like, what is EMF, and then why holding a phone next to your baby's head is a bad idea.
Yeah. So in a short, easy to understand, electromagnetic frequencies, or EMF, people hear EMF all the time, but it just means electromagnetic fields or electromagnetic frequencies. These fields are natural and man-made. So we have a natural, like I said, during the day, the sun creates an electric field on Earth that keeps us awake and alert and energized and builds our cells up, gives us all this power and energy. And at night, we have a higher magnetic field on Earth, and that magnetic field is healing and repairing. Those are natural fields, as well as the sun itself, which has everything from X-rays to gamma rays to invisible ultraviolet and infrared, and then all the color spectrum we can see. Those are also electromagnetic fields that our bodies have been designed to use. Man has come out and utilized some of these electromagnetic fields in ways that nature never intended. One way is through cellular communication, cell phones, which is great. We all love to be connected all the time. And it's kind of like this magical technology, but we're exposed to more microwave radiation than ever before. And our bodies have never been designed to make use of that much microwave, because it never would have been possible on Earth till we generated these technologies. So we think about the microwave oven itself. We cook our food in there. Hopefully we don't.
We don't either.
Don't cook your food in it.
We probably haven't had one in 5 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not cooking your food in your microwave, but people do such things. And should you have done that? And almost all of us have done it at one point in time. We grew up in the 80s and they were like the new cool thing. Yeah. But it will dehydrate. Throw a piece of steak in the microwave and turn it on high, and it's going to get super dehydrated. The frequency that the microwave runs at is 2.45 gigahertz. You can open up the door of your microwave. We don't have one to look at, but if you had one, you could look and it'll tell you the frequency it runs at, 2.45 gigahertz. Your Wi-Fi router, go look at the gigahertz your Wi-Fi router runs at, 2.45 gigahertz. It's exactly the same as the microwave oven, but it's a lower power density. So it's dehydrating you all night long, all day long. So what we say is, especially with babies in your nursery or even your own bed, for sure, don't put the microwave router, the Wi-Fi router, in the baby's room or your bedroom where you're sleeping all night. And if possible, because that's both dehydrating and it can cause insomnia. It can cause anxiety. It can change brainwave patterns. And you want your baby's brainwave patterns to be synced to the earth. That's why we're given this beautiful biology that we have and this earth to live on. We always recommend people turn Wi-Fi off at night so that it's not microwaving you all night long. We also, with the cellular telephones, they emit microwave radiation. That's how they communicate. They've only been tested for military men, so 250-pound male who has a very thick skull. Women have thinner skulls than men, and babies don't even have fully formed skulls. So when we send those microwaves to babies' brains, like when we're breastfeeding or when we're playing with kids and giving them a cell phone to play with when they're very young, that can actually cause damage that we're finding more and more about now that has never been known before. So there's lots and lots of research, 5,500 peer-reviewed published studies on the biological effect of microwave radiation on our bodies. That's on bioinitiative.org if anybody wants to look those studies up. So we've looked at a lot of those studies. We've been taught by some of the experts in the country on how these things affect our biology. And since everybody's using them all the time, we're not going to get away from them. But what we realize is if you can turn your Wi-Fi off at night, if you can have your cell phone in airplane mode when you're breastfeeding, it makes a big difference to everybody's health. And then if you can get outside at any time during the day barefoot, called grounding or earthing, you can dump a lot of that charge you're building up in your body that can be inflammatory and get rid of it by just touching the ground barefoot or with your bare hands.
And it did take a lot of time either, right?
Couple minutes.
Yeah.
Literally like 3 to 5 minutes. Even just 1 minute is very helpful. 30 seconds makes a big difference.
It's basically, when you walk across carpet and then you get zapped and you dump that charge, that's a positive charge. You're actually dumping, you're grounding yourself because your body can't hold that much of a charge. So anytime you're barefoot, touch a tree, do anything in nature and you're touching the ground, you're dumping that positive charge and gaining electrons. One thing Thaddeus said, if you're holding your baby and you have your phone on airplane mode, that's okay, kind of, you guys. But honestly, like, my preference would be like to work toward not having a phone and holding your baby and actually gazing at your child and connecting with it, because you're going to make oxytocin and give your child oxytocin. And we want to be oxytocin and melatonin rich. And that makes everybody happier in the whole family, in the whole household.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So really trying to go back to connecting and doing some of that inner work where like you're gazing, you're using your energy to connect with that being, not distracted. Right.
Exactly. When our kids were babies, that's all I did.
Yeah.
We didn't have cell phones. We'd go out and just sit on the couch and cry.
Yeah.
And sometimes the baby would cry too.
Exactly. Like that bonding with mom and baby and breastfeeding, there's no other time like it in your life.
Yeah.
Think about that. And if you're going to let tech steal that, don't let tech steal your time.
Exactly.
Your precious time with your
and your life.
Yeah, in your life. And that goes for everybody, not just that. It's just like that time is so important to their developmental stages, but everybody everywhere can take that information and go, whoa, how am I letting tech steal my life?
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the EMF thing, you guys, with the Wi-Fi, I just want to say one more thing. We were at Airbnb. This is something people are traveling to look out for. We had a Wi-Fi router right underneath the bed we were sleeping in. And we were like,
we had an Aura ring at the time, which we don't wear anymore for various reasons, but we were wearing the Aura ring. And when we woke up in the morning, it said, you have a fever. Your temperature has gone up over a degree.
Yeah.
Because what microwaves do is they heat up your cells. The Aura ring registered that the microwave from the Wi-Fi router was heating us up so much, it told us we had a fever.
We were so out of sorts that morning. We looked at each other, we're like, what is happening? And he found the router. Oh my God, we slept on top of it. And if you've taken a what do you call the meter?
It's a microwave radiation meter.
Yeah, a radiation meter, and you measure, it's off the charts. It's like a extreme danger is what it looks like.
So we unplugged it the next night when we went to bed.
So is that what you mean when you say disconnect it? You just unplug it?
There's 3 ways that you can disconnect Wi-Fi. So what we have done at our house is you can go on your laptop. Every Wi-Fi router has an address on the back of it. You just type into a website. You type the address in and it brings you into your router in your house. And you can disable the Wi-Fi right from that web address, right from your laptop or your phone. So you can go onto your phone, you can disable the Wi-Fi, and then the Wi-Fi is never on, which means you can't use the Wi-Fi. But the Wi-Fi router coming into your home, there's still internet coming in because it comes into your home with a cable. So we just connect a cable that we all used to do from 1990 all the way until the year, whatever, 2020. We connect with a cable, which is faster than Wi-Fi. So it runs faster. We connect our phones, our tablets, our gaming systems for the kids, our television when we watch a movie, our laptops and our tablets are all connected with a wire that goes to the router with no Wi-Fi on. That's one way. The other way is you can literally just unplug it. And then the third way is you can plug it into a remote control. So when you go to bed, on your nightside stand is a remote, and you just turn the Wi-Fi off as soon as you decide to go to bed. And then you click a button as soon as you wake up and turn everything back on. That's the easy way.
I was going to say the first way that Thaddeus was talking about having cables everywhere, it's very inconvenient. And not a lot of people are going to tolerate that, especially this day and age. Everybody wants convenience, right? And a magic thing, whatever. You have to be very tolerant and very dedicated that you will have cords everywhere. People will be tripping. It's unless they're built into a home, brand new, that's an option. So if you are building a home and you can have that built in, that would be like the best, right? But just know if you go to that length of not having Wi-Fi, there's a way around that. It's called a MoCA. So it's some kind of data over coaxial cable. So your cable internet coming into the home, you can just run a cord directly from the coaxial cable to your devices, and your home's already wired for that. Everyone's home's already wired for that today. It's instead of just connecting a cable to your Wi-Fi router, you just plug in this thing called a MoCA. You can buy them on Amazon. I think they're like $50. And you screw the MoCA box into where your cable television comes into the home. Then you run the cable to your TV like normal, but you can also run a LAN cable, a hard connected internet cable from that box. And there's usually a junction box in everybody's bedroom, in the living room, all of those places. So your home is already hardwired if you wanted to do it that way. People just look up MoCA and they can hardwire internet.
Is that MoCA?
It is.
Okay.
That's interesting. Wow.
That is. I never heard of that.
But we also recommend you guys, if you have any issues sleeping, you have young kids, you have elderly parents, anybody with autoimmune issues,
Autism.
Oh my God. Turn off your Wi-Fi at night. It makes such a huge difference. And
some autistic kids, they found like the minute they turn it off, they suddenly, not that they get fully better, but they are suddenly 10 times better than they were even a second ago. So experiment with these things if you have any kids in your home like that too.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we have a nephew. Yeah. So that's interesting.
This has all been interesting. I really hope everybody out there enjoyed this as much as I did. I've learned so much about this stuff that I just never even thought about before.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we're trying to do, make people think about things that everybody is trying to get us not to think about.
Yeah, right. I do want to ask you one last thing before we do get off here, because we do help people or Steve get off medications. And when you get off medications, you always lose weight, usually because they're usually overweight and eating whole foods. But I heard Heidi on Alex's show talking about another benefit that I think a lot of people would like to know about walking in the mornings and getting out in the sunlight was weight loss.
Oh, yeah. Getting out in the morning sunlight, you guys, like what Thaddeus was saying, you set up your estrogen for the day. You set up all that cascade of hormones for the day. But this is something I learned from Dr. Mindy Pelz. Are you familiar with her?
Yes.
Yeah. So she talks about moving forward in a forward, like right foot, left foot. And it's not only, we all know that walking is good for you, but the way she explains it is like you're actually moving ahead in your life, right? And so it's actually building neurochemicals and neurotransmitters in your brain to tell your body you need to now move and do something different, and it'll change your physiology. So pairing that with morning sunlight and then moving forward, not just standing, like getting morning sunlight, but moving forward, walking briskly in unison. I've had people, and then adding one more thing, the blood blocking glasses at night. I've had a woman, she's been trying to lose weight for, I don't know how many years. She did those three things: morning sunlight, walked in the morning, and then was religious about wearing the blue blocking glasses. And it's cumulative. So like consistency is key. Right. And she lost 5 pounds in 1 week. That's crazy. I was like, what? I was like, maybe a little too much. I lose so much, right?
Yeah.
I lost some water weight, but we keep hearing more and more people go, oh my God, I can't believe, like, just by doing these couple like small changes, but you got to commit to it, right? Just like anything, it doesn't take a lot of work, but putting on a pair of sunglasses isn't a huge Herculean effort. But paying attention to your light environment, giving your body the right signals, now it's going to be using the right chemicals during the day that will help you set up for sleep at night. So it all just kind of compiles and works in cycles. And Teresa, our bodies are cyclical and us women are cyclical. So throughout our entire lifetime, it's all a cycle, right? And monthly cycle, we're intricately connected to the moon. And so looking at our lives in every day is different for us. And it's so different from men. You guys are like this 24-hour testosterone cycle. And we're always different every day, every period, every season, every year, right? Like everything is always changing. So like having that male container go, okay, you're safe. Like, right, having your nervous system, this is called male containment, having your nervous system safe so that she can continue to change and adjust. But yeah, moving forward in the morning and getting morning sunlight, it'll help you sleep. So it's all in that like New cycle.
And I think the key is our bodies want to be healthy. They will heal themselves if we give them the right nutrients, which sunlight is a nutrient, and stay away from the things that harm us. So artificial light exposure at night is malillumination. It's like giving your body a toxin. Eating a bunch of carbohydrates that are sprayed with glyphosate, that's a toxin. So giving your body the right fuel, which includes light, will allow your body to heal itself.
Blue light is actually considered a carcinogen.
By itself at night, it's a carcinogen.
Wow. It's the same
during the day, it's not, but at night it definitely
asbestos.
Is.
Huh.
Wow.
It's in the same category at the World IARC, International Agency for the Research on Cancer. They list it in the same group as asbestos.
Oh wow.
That's like shift work due to artificial light exposure.
They also did a study with a group of women. I think they were menopausal. There were two groups of women, and the women who had blinky lights on just at night in their bedroom gained more weight. Just from a little blinky light in the bedroom.
Than women who
slept in the pure dark. Yeah.
Our bodies are so amazing. It makes me sick when these scientists and everybody come out thinking, oh, we're so smart. Look at this new thing we found out the body does. Did you hear what you said? The body already knows. It already does everything. We're not smart because we're figuring this out. And then all of a sudden we think we're smarter than the body and we can go do this stuff, give fake light, give fake food, give fake everything. I think our body's going to respond the same way, and it doesn't. And we're definitely seeing that.
Exactly. And I think that's like what we started the podcast talking about. Like I call that dogma, right? We change our ideas back and forth. And that's what science has lost, I think, is like you test things out and then you come back. You don't just put a stake in the ground and go, it's this way and can't be anything different, right?
Now start getting the money from it.
Yeah, that's not how nature works, right?
We didn't even talk, just real fast. So you guys sell these glasses? How do people do that?
So we've been in this space, and I've been studying this for so long. And when I put on a pair of blue light blockers, it changed my life for the better. And I've never gone a night since 2009 without wearing them because of how much it changed my life. We have tested all the glasses from every other company out there. I was an influencer for a while. I was an affiliate for all these companies. And then we decided last year that we were going to design our own version of these, specifically designed for women. Now, we do have men's glasses, but nobody that's out there is designing these for women. It's all a bunch of biohackers that are designing them for men. And we thought women deserve great looking glasses too that protect their melatonin and their health.
Pretty pink ones.
Oh yeah. Those are
so Heidi is a designer.
That's cool.
And Heidi thought we should really help more women. And instead of talking to everyone in the biohacking space, like, why don't we talk to people that have never heard this message and need it? So people that are younger women, new moms, like all of these people that really need sleep and have never heard how much light affects them. So we designed our company to give them circadian friendly, beautiful lighting and beautiful blue light blocking glasses designed for these women that have never heard the message and they don't want to buy a pair of men's glasses because they don't look good. So let's give them something really pretty and something they feel good about wearing. And then they'll realize the power of light in their health.
Yeah. So, and another thing, all of our lights, you guys, they're all white and they're all like really aesthetically pleasing. So a lot of times we have these red light panels and everything looks very biohackery and very male and whatever. Not that that's bad. It's just like women appreciate aesthetics, I think, a lot more than men do because we're more aware and we're more expansive like about our surroundings. And we're paying attention to that. And so what I found was like, just some ugly tools, and yes, they work, and I was using them, and I'm like, we can do this better. We can make prettier things that women will feel good about keeping in their home, and we're helping people sleep. Sign me up, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
yeah, so we started looking at some different types of frames and glasses, and we've just had so many people like reach out to us and are like, these are so fun, I love it. And now they have like collections, and I don't know, it's fun, but honestly, like we're here to help spread the word and educate first.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we have the pretty glasses that
I love it.
And just so everybody knows, we'll have the link down below so you can click on this. And if you type in the code Dr. Steve 10, so Dr. Steve 10, and you'll get 10% off the glasses.
they'll get 10% off anything that's not like a bundle or on sale.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how else can they find you guys? What's the website? I think we did just say it, but all your socials and,
Yeah, we're DreamWalkers.ai on our website, and we do have resources and a blog. And then we are on Instagram, and it's DreamWalkers AI. It's not underscore, right?
Nope, just at DreamWalkers AI. Make sure it's DreamWalkers with a Z, AI on Instagram. And then if you go to Primal Hacker, just Primal and Hacker, all one word, on YouTube, we have hundreds of videos for free on how to use natural sunlight, how to get more sleep at night, all of these things describing how we set up our own home and walking around our house showing you our lights. That's all on Primal Hacker on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
We didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Didn't know
and you
that.
could email us too at support@dreamwalkers.ai if you have any other questions. We love answering questions. We love hearing stories. We love hearing people that are like, oh my God, I never thought about the morning sunlight, and now I've been working on it. And here's what happened. And one of the cool things that just happened this week, this lady said that she had some really bad PTSD. She lost a child a while ago, and it was just heartbreaking. And she said ever since she heard the Alex Clark podcast, she's been getting out in the morning sunlight, and she's had energy to take her daughter to the park in the evening and do sunset walks with her family. And I'm like, mic drop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is why we do this work.
Absolutely.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Don't you just love it when people come back and tell you how much you've changed their lives?
Seriously,
It is.
like in just
It's
one
wonderful.
person changing their life, like after something traumatic. I'm gonna cry.
Okay.
I don't want to end your podcast by crying.
That's right. You go cry and we'll get rid of these people.
Now, Thaddeus, you have a book?
I do have a book. You can find it on Amazon or DreamWalkers.ai, and it's called The Ketogenic Hibernation Diet. And it's not necessarily a diet book, although it does help people lose weight. And it talks about how to utilize light, cold, and food during the winter in a northern environment. So if you live in Florida, maybe it's not for you, but in a northern environment when it gets cold, there's a cyclical way of eating, which is more ketogenic and carnivore than you should be eating in the summer when there's berries available, for example, and utilizing cold appropriately in the winter so you're not feeling cold all the time. We teach you how to cold adapt in the book, how to eat an appropriate diet for your region and the season, and how to utilize light differently in the winter than in the summer to get better sleep and repair faster. So you come out of the winter looking really good without having to go to the gym all the time all winter.
Oh, that sounds very good. I like that. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
that.
really.
Not just for that reason, but for all of that's very interesting.
Yeah.
How we should be changing with the seasons. We think about that with food.
Eating seasonally.
Yeah,
if it's not growing, don't eat it.
But what you're saying is very interesting.
I would say even people that live toward the equator in Florida, there's a rainy season. There's a season when you take a break from carbs even. And your light environment plays such a huge factor in what carbs or no carbs you should be eating.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, this is all interesting.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed this. Thank you again for coming on our podcast. This has been fantastic.
Awesome.
And for all our listeners out there, thank you again for coming and listening to us. And until next time, stay nourished and stay well.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.